So you should have now completed creating the happy birthday text in Illustrator, and this video is going to show you how to import them and animate it in Flash. So let's go ahead and open up Flash. Most of y'all have probably never opened it on a computer, so what you're going to have to do is go to the Start menu and go to All Programs, and then scroll down to the Files and find the one that says Adobe. Mine says Adobe Master Collection. Yours might not say that, but just look for the word Adobe. And then you want to open up Adobe Flash Professionals. Do not open up Flash Builder. You want Flash Professional. Okay, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. Just go ahead and we want ActionScript 3.0. So create new ActionScript 3.0. Just click on that. Now y'all's probably won't look like mine. So we're going to reset our screen so that everyone looks the same. So we're going to go to Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. So y'all's probably looks more like this. If you notice, all the tools that we're used to using are over on the left-hand side this time. You can keep them there, but if you like them on the left-hand side, like all the other programs, like I do, just click with your mouse right here and just click and drag, and you can put them back over on the left-hand side, which is what I like to do just because that's where they're all at on all the other programs. If you do not have this timeline at the bottom, go to Window, Timeline. So some of y'all might just have this. We need that timeline, so make sure you go Window, Timeline. So we have our timeline at the bottom. And then we're going to zoom in. If you notice, if you go to Window, they don't necessarily have a navigator. So I'm just going to click right here. This is how you can zoom in and out, or you can fit in the window and it'll fit to the exact size of your stage. So what we're going to do is we are going to import Happy. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go File, but we're not going to go File Open. That would open up an entire video. We want to import an object that's going to be inside of our video. So we're going to go File, Import, Import to Stage. Your video, like this little square right here, that's known as your stage. So we're just we want to import the H to this stage. We could import it into the library, and it would just be, if you click on this library over here, this is going to be all of your pre-made things that you can add to your video. So you could really do it to either or and you'll be fine. We're just going to go ahead and import it straight to this stage though. Maneuver to wherever you saved your H to, click on the letter H and click Open. And depending on how big or small you made your video, your H, it might be a little bit big. That's okay. We'll just change that in a second. So we have letter H. Now we want to make sure that we know each layer. So right here it says layer 1. We're going to double click on layer 1 and put an H. So we know that this layer contains the H. Now we're going to create a new layer. So okay, so down here at the very bottom, you have the new layer. Click on that, and it's going to say layer 2. Click on it and bring it down with your mouse, because that's what we want. We want them to go in order, and we're going to change this to an A, because this is where we're going to import A. So with layer A selected, so it should be in blue, go File, Import, Import to Stage, and find your A. And then move it down. Trying to make my Flash fit on one screen so you can see. Okay, there we go. Okay, so go ahead and hit the new layer button. Drag it with your mouse down below and change it to P. And then with the P layer selected, go File, Import, Import to Stage, and do your first P, and then move it down. Add your new layer, bring it down to the very bottom, P2. With P2 selected, File, Import to Stage, scroll down, our P2. And one more time, new layer, bring it down, double click, and it's going to be our letter Y. Then make sure letter Y layer is selected, file, import, import to stage, letter Y. Now it's not quite going to fit, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come in here and decrease the size of these a little bit. So I'm going to click on the H, and then with this little free transform tool right here, I'm going to downsize. Make sure you hold down shift so that we can keep our H proportional. And I'm going to decrease the size quite a bit. And I'm going to do the same thing to the A with the free transform button. Hold down shift and decrease it. And try to get it the same size as the H. Try to get it as best as possible. Click on the P, free transform, hold down shift, downsize your P. That one might be a little bit too big still. Okay. Second P, free transform, hold down shift, downsize. I think they're all, oh, that one might be a little bit too small now. Okay, and the last one, Y, free transform, hold down shift, decrease my Y. Okay, so I think I kind of get a little smaller as we go along. And you don't have to be as picky as I'm being. Okay, so after you're happy with downsizing them a little bit, we want to make sure they're centered on our page. So with the selection tool selected, just kind of try to center them on the page towards the bottom. So something like that. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now that we have happy, we are ready to start animating our video. The first thing we want to do is right now, if you notice, we just have something on 1. That means 1 frame. So each one of these, so this would be 5 frames, this would be 10 frames. You have to think of a video not in terms of how many minutes or how many seconds, but how many frames it has. So we are going to start off by making a 100 frame video. So I want you to click right here where it says 100, and holding down Control, click on the very bottom one. Oops. Sorry, hold on Shift. So click on the very top one, hold down Shift, and click on the very bottom one. So you should have all 5 layers highlighted at frame 100. And then we're going to go Insert, Timeline, Frame. Or if you notice, F5. F5 is your shortcut. So now, if we play our video, we would just have 100 frames of happy sitting here. If you want to play your video, all you have to do is hit the enter key. So if I hit enter, see I have a 100 frame video of happy just sitting there, like I said. So now we are ready to animate each individual letter. So we're going to start with the H. So click on the H, make sure you're on the H layer. We are going to make the transition from the top to the bottom 20 frames. So what we're going to do is click on the 20, and then I want you to right click and go convert to keyframe. Okay, so you can see. So right click, convert to keyframe. Now this is where you decide, now that we have a keyframe, we have to move this where you want it to go. So we want it to move up here and kind of to the side a little bit. So about right there. That's pretty good. And then once you have it in the spot that you want, you're going to come in here and click somewhere in between, probably the 5 and the 15, so anywhere between your keyframes, and right click and go Create Classic Tween. and it's going to add an arrow. What that basically did is, if I play my arrow, see how it moves from the top to the bottom on its own? Now once it's on the top, make sure you click on this little circle, and we are going to increase the size because we want it to get bigger as it goes up to the top. Okay, and then declick off of it. So then you can play it and see what it's going to look like. So if I put it on keyframe 1 and hit enter, see it goes up and it grows as it gets bigger. I mean, it grows as it gets higher up. So next, we're going to do this same thing, but we're going to do it for the letter H. So make sure you're on layer H, or letter A, sorry. So now we have to make the keyframes that we want A to be. So I want you to click right below the circle that's located on H. You're going to be right below that. So you're basically going to be in keyframe 20 for the letter A. And you can right click, convert to keyframe, or you can go modify, timeline, convert to keyframe. And so this is the beginning of our keyframe. Where do we want our keyframe to end? Since we made the first one 20, we're going to make the second one 20. So we're going to come over here, make sure you're still on layer H, and click on 40. Right click, convert to keyframe. So now we have our keyframe with layer 40. So the frame with the dot is still selected. Move your H up and over wherever you want it to be. Okay, and then click somewhere in between 20 and 40. Right click, create classic tween, and we'll check it to make sure it's working. So start with 20 and just go up, and it is. So with the circle selected on layer A, hit your free transform tool and make it bigger. So now we'll check it. I'm going to hit enter, and this is what we have so far. Perfect. So now we're ready to do the P, P, and Y. So we're going to, on the first P, select layer 40, right click, convert to keyframe. We're going to do 20 again, so click on 60, make sure you're on layer P, 60, right click, convert to keyframe. Move your P up. We're just going to move it straight up. Okay, click somewhere in the middle of 40 and 60, right click, create classic tween. Move your cursor to where you're on the 60 and make it bigger. Okay, and we can check it. Hit enter. Okay, it's looking good so far. So now we're going to do the second P. So hit 60, keyframe 60 on the P2 layer. Right click, convert to keyframe. Click on 80. Right click, convert to keyframe. Move your P up where you want it. Click somewhere in between the 60 and the 80. Right click, create classic tween. And then put your cursor, click on the circle, and make it bigger. Perfect. Now the last one, make sure you're on the Y layer. Right click, make sure you're on 80. Okay, right click, convert to keyframe. Click on the 100. Right click, convert to keyframe. And then move your Y. Make it bigger. Oops. And click somewhere in between. Now I want to show you the difference. If you have two different options, we're doing the create classic tween. If you do the create motion tween, what it's going to do is, see how ours are, it's moving gradually throughout. The other one, if you notice, it won't move until the very end, so it just kind of jumps. That's what we're not wanting. So that's why we're doing the other one, the create classic tween. Let's see if I can get back to where I was. Oh, we're going to remove the tween. So now we're going to create the classic tween. So then, let's play what we have and see if it works. Okay, So you should have something that works. I think I messed up my Y trying to show y'all that, so I'm just going to redo my Y really fast. I'm just backspacing. I think while I was in the process of trying to show y'all what a classic tween is versus a motion tween, I messed it up. So, convert to keyframe, move it up, create a classic tween, and make it bigger. Okay, so let me check it one more time. Okay, that's better. So now we're ready to add the word birthday. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new layer. So we're going to click down here, double click on it, and we're going to name it birthday. Now if you notice, we have a 100 frame video right now. So the entire video is made up of the word happy. But if I go to my example, you know, the word happy is for the first 100 frames, but then the word birthday comes in after the first 100 frames. So that's what we got to change right now. So let me go back to my Flash. So what we need to do is we need to increase the number of frames in our video. So what we're going to do is I want you to just click and highlight all the last frames. Okay, so I just clicked and dragged down, and then I'm going to click with my mouse and drag it all the way to 150. So if you notice, I'm dragging all of them. So then I've stretched. Now my video is 150 keyframes. So let me undo that in case that didn't work for you. Okay, so click. You can hold down Shift too. You can click the first one, hold down Shift, click the last one, and then with your mouse, just click on it and drag it to 150. Now we still want our Y to end at 100. So declick off of it, click the Y, the last keyframe in Y only, and drag that back to 100. Whoops, I messed up. Undo keyframes. I moved it back and up. Don't do that. See, so there we go. So now I'm still at 100. Okay, so now I have all this extra space down here. So we want birthday to come in at keyframe 100. So we're going to click on the birthday layer, click on keyframe 100, right click, convert to keyframe. Okay, and then we're going to insert our birthday. So file, import to stage, find your birthday, click OK. So then if you notice, only 100 through 150 is grayed out and the rest is white. That means where it's white, birthday is not going to appear. And then we're going to, if yours is too big like mine, just downsize it a little bit and put it right there. And next we're ready to animate it. So when it comes to animating birthday, we actually want birthday to start off the screen. So I'm going to decrease the size of my screen a little bit. I might make it 125 that way. And then I'm going to move birthday off the screen because we want it to float in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually decrease the size of it a little bit too. Okay, so my cursor, we want it to go from here to here to here. So that's going to be 3 different keyframes. So the first keyframe, we're going to put it about, I don't know, 116, 117, depending on where you want. I'll put mine at, I think that's like 117. And I'm going to right click, so you kind of choose a little bit, 1 or 2 frames after 115. Right click, convert to keyframe. And then move your birthday wherever you want. I'm actually going to make mine a little bit bigger. Oh, not yet. Don't go out of order. Can't scale it yet. Once you move it, then create your classic motion tween. Okay, and then after you created the motion tween, then you can make it bigger. Don't go out of order. Like, don't scale the birthday until after you've created the motion tween, or it'll mess it up. So then if I play it, right now I have this. It gets big, it gets a little bit bigger. I don't know if it gets much bigger. Okay, and then the next section, we're going to have it come up to the top. So we're going to create another keyframe Somewhere in between 130 and 135, maybe about 133. So right click, convert to keyframe, and we're going to move it to here. Okay, and then I'm going to click somewhere in between it and create classic motion tween. And then I'm going to click on the last circle, and I'm going to downsize it a little bit. So in order to make the last keyframe, we're going to click on the little white square. We're going to right click, convert to keyframe. Okay, and then we're going to move it where we want. So I'm just going to move it to the center. And then we're going to click somewhere in between the two frames. Right click, create classic tween. Click back onto the black circle. Hit my transform tool and make it big. It's kind of what I want. Okay, and so then if I play it, I have this. Now if you notice, if I play it from here, at the very end my birthday disappears. We want it to stay on the screen. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this little, the last, not the white dot, but the black dot. Click on the black dot and just drag it over to the white dot. So then when you play it, the birthday will stay. So let's play it from the very beginning. So just hit enter, and this is what we have. Okay, perfect. So the last thing we want to do is we want to create the words at the bottom from you, from your name, love you, sincerely, your name, something like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we have to increase the size of our frames, because right now we want the from to come in after the word birthday. So select all of the very last frame in all of your layers, click and drag it to 175. So we've basically just increased the number of frames of our video to 175. And we don't want the birthday to go that long, so once again, grab the last frame in birthday, click, and drag it back to 150. So now we have birthday, and then it just sits, everything just sits there. We're going to add one more layer, so we're going to go to the new layer, make it to the bottom, and we're going to type text. So we know that this is our text. Oops. So that we know this is our text frame. We want our text to come in after birthday finishes. So instead of doing it at the same time as birthday, we're going to do one more over. And then we'll right click, convert to keyframe, and then we're going to hit our text tool over here and grab it and type from : your name. You can put love your name, you could put sincerely your name, whatever you wanted to put. Highlight it and go text, font. Choose a font that you like. I'm going to choose the same font that I chose for my letters. I'm going to bold it. I'm going to go text size. I'm going to make it 72. Nope, too big. Size, I'm going to make it 48. And then I'm going to text align center, so it's centered in my text box. You can always make your text box bigger by clicking here, so if you have a really long name or something like that. And then just hit the selection tool and move it to wherever you want it to come in at. So then, if we play it, we have birthday, and then your name pops in for the rest. So let's go ahead and play it from the very beginning. So go enter. And there you go. And that is your video. The last thing we have to do is we have to save this. So first we're going to save it as a Flash file. So go File, Save As, and we're just going to save it as a Flash CX6 document. And we're going to save it. Click to wherever you want to save it. And we're going to save it as your last name, first initial, underscore, birthday card. And then hit save. And then we're going to save it one more time as a movie file. So we're going to go File, Export, Export Movie, save it to wherever you want. It should be your last name, first initial, underscore, birthday card. And then we're going to name it, we're going to save it as a animated GIF. And then click save. Accept all the defaults. Once you have saved both of them, one is an animated GIF and one is the Flash file, make sure you drop off the Flash file to be graded and then upload your animated GIF file to the peer review forum.